Susan Makes Sense on NBC4 is brought to you by Chase.
So I got to ask you a question. Do you remember that kid in high school that you were like, yeah, he's not going anywhere. He didn't get into college and he's just going to go to a VOTech school and learn how to become a plumber, right? Well, that kid in high school probably is now one of the smartest kids in the class because trade skills right now, especially with the onset of AI, is probably one of the most in-demand jobs that is out there. And my guest today, Tisha Jordan, is really one of the best people to talk to about this because you understand this shift better than probably anyone. And not only did you become this incredible ContractHer, you're an entrepreneur. So for people who are watching this, who are just meeting you for the first time, tell us your story because you didn't just wake up one day with a hammer and a nail and say, I got this.
You are absolutely right. This all started after a divorce, and I had to buy a new home for me and my family, and it was a tough time. My background is actually in social work. I have a master's in social work, and I love being a social worker. That's what I thought I'd do for the rest of my life. But life had different plans for me, and so when I bought this house, I had very little money, and I had to teach myself these skills. It was interesting because I really felt like it wasn't as complicated as people made it seem. And I kept having these instances where I would meet a contractor and just because I was a woman, they off rip were trying to rip me off.
Really?
Somebody taught me this term called pink tax, which is basically it's a tax, an invisible tax that gets put on services that are being done for women. Mm-hmm. So when you go to the mechanics, when you ask, somebody to come in and fix your plumbing or an electrician. And I was getting taxed.
Because you're a lady, they're like, she's not going to know this pipe to that pipe, and we're going to just upcharge her.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What they didn't know about me is I am a master researcher. And so even though I didn't have these, physical skills yet, I had researched everything. And so when people came with quotes and stuff, or they would come in and do something, charge me $350 and it took them 10 minutes. And I was looking over their shoulder saying, I know that I can do this. And so I just started to do the work and it kind of spiraled. It snowballed into this thing where people started asking me online, like, where did you learn these skills? How did you figure this out? And I was like, I heard somewhere and I've kept this with me ever since. Everything is figure outable.
I love that.
And so that's what I've been doing. And it turned into a business. I realized that there was like this hole in the market where there was no space for women to learn these skills between like online YouTube University, which I'm not opposed to because it taught me many, many things. I'm a graduate, PhD in YouTube University. But there's nothing between that and the full-blown going to trade school. And so I decided to create a class, like a 3-day boot camp to teach female homeowners how to better maintain and upgrade their homes. And even if they didn't want to do the work themselves, to at least ensure that they're not going to be ripped off, that they understand materials, that they understand, what things cost, how to do measurement, so that when people come in, they're not going to be, exploited.
Are you guys noticing more and more people are asking you questions and, talking about how, AI can certainly, rewrite our emails and do all sorts of things. But some of the things that it cannot do are these hands-on jobs like plumbers, like electricians.
Correct.
So for the person who is probably watching us today, probably fell upon us by searching something like, should I go into a VOTech school? Should I learn a trade skill? All of those types of things. What's your opinion about that and your advice?
I think it's absolutely something that people should be exploring. We are seeing a large influx of people who have undergrad, masters, sometimes PhDs, who are realizing that the economy and the job security that we once thought was there is not there anymore. And it's terrifying. With all the changes that we've seen and with AI, there are just, it's quite clear that there are certain things that AI is not going to be able to do. And so, yes, AI can do some critical thinking and problem solving, but it is never going to have the level that a human can have to make those on the spot decisions that are necessary. Good example, I'm in the process of wrapping up a renovation project for one of my clients right now. and I have a seasoned master plumber who is doing all the work, and we have to go through inspection. The AI cannot anticipate. And let me tell you, me and ChatGPT have had discussions, when we talk about like just trying because I make those comparisons actually to see like what does AI know about this versus what I'm actually seeing in the field.
Okay.
Because I'm just weird and inquisitive like that. And I'm asking like, what's the process? What would we need to do? And then I compare it to what it is that my master plumber is doing. And I have conversations with the people who are doing the permitting. And I cross-reference that. And I'll tell you, 9 times out of 10, AI has no clue what's going on. And if I was to follow what AI was telling me, I'd be in trouble.
Really?
I would be in trouble. It's just there's a critical thinking piece that it can't. There is an assessment piece that has to happen with a real person with their real eyes, touching, feeling, smelling things. All of those senses are important when you're working in someone's home, whether it's with electrical, plumbing, whatever that case is, that AI is never going to be able to do.
For someone who's thinking, who's already in a job in a 9 to 5, and they're realizing that AI is probably going to be taking over my job pretty soon, how easy is it to flip the switch and to learn a new trade?
So it's actually a lot easier, especially right now.
Really?
It is. I think what's happening, I'm seeing a lot of different schools and organizations. The Lowe's Foundation actually has put millions of dollars into opening up opportunities for people to be able to get into skilled trades a lot easier. I think just, with the tech boom, it kind of just fell to the wayside. And so people didn't explore it at all. They're taking those programs out of the high school. So kids, when they're really supposed to be exploring what opportunities are out there, are not even getting exposed to it.
You're talking about like shop.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
So schools are getting rid of shop?
Many schools had gotten rid of shop. And for a lot of people, they were like, kids who were interested, which was a smaller handful, because now everybody wants to do something in tech or be a YouTuber.
Right.
And, if kids were interested, they would have to be looking for specific schools that offered this. Whereas, when I was growing up, it was in every single school.
Right. I remember that. Like there was home ec.
Yes,
and
right.
There was shop. So all the girls would do home ec. We would learn how to cook. Oh my God, I sound so old, don't I? Oh my gosh. It's so stereotypical too, right? And then all of the guys, like, who wanted to learn how to build something were in shop. Yep. So that's crazy. So now that's kind of going to the wayside.
Yep. And I'm so glad that you mentioned that, because that too, even for when I was growing up, no one exposed me to this. I was pushed towards home ec. No one said that this was like, I don't even know if girls took shop at that time. I wish somebody taught me. I would be a master carpenter right now. I love, and the feeling of building something with your hands and you see the end result. There's no comparison.
That's really cool. What was really neat too? I saw actually your post popped up, and this got me thinking that you were just asked to be Lowe's Foundation, right? So they just, from what I understand, they expanded its workforce investment to $250 million with the goal of helping to train 250,000 tradespeople by 2035. So they actually have it's an HBO, is it a series
HBO
that they're doing?
docu-series is a 3-part series.
What is it called?
Building Back America's Trades.
So they tapped into you a little bit, or asked you to help them out.
They did, which honestly, I'm still like over the moon about it, to be able to be a part of something like this. So they reached out to me and just asked if they could use some of my content, because a few of the people who were actually in the docuseries expressed the fact that they got exposed to skilled trades by social media.
Really?
And seeing other women, electricians, plumbers, general contractors, master carpenters, working in this field and showing off their skills and the work that they're doing on social media. And it kind of brought it to life for them. They were like, there's other women who are doing this and they're doing really well in this. And so part of their story was saying, this is something that influenced me significantly. And so they reached out to me and asked if they could use some of my content. And then as a result of that, it ended up snowballing for me. And they asked if I would do some promotion for them, which for me, when it comes to, I do content, but I really only focus on content that means something for me, that I feel is making an impact, products that I really believe in. And I really stand behind what Lowe's Foundation is doing right now.
Yeah, when I think I think that we all have that stereotype, right? When you think of a plumber, an electrician, a man comes to mind, right? But you really are kind of changing that perception because of your social media, which is really, exploding right now, which is great. So congratulations on that. Why do you think it's working? Why do you think it's resonating so well?
I think that a lot of people have just had really bad experiences with contractors and people in skilled trades, whether it's not being reliable, feeling like you're getting ripped off. One of the questions people ask me often is like, if I feel like as a woman, it has worked against me in this field.
Has it?
It has not.
Really?
It has been my superpower. It has absolutely been my superpower.
Do you think people, homeowners who are hiring a contractor, trust a man versus a woman? Who do you think they trust more?
I have found that they trust women more, and they have verbalized that to me.
Why?
One, the attention to detail, the ability to communicate. A lot of the experiences that I hear is that, they call people, they're not getting calls back. No one told them when are people coming, if people are coming, what the process looks like. But I also want to say that I do feel like my social work background really helped me in this aspect, because I have an ability to communicate. Like in my mind, everything works from an educational perspective. And so I'm approaching my clients and I'm saying, this is what's going on. These are what your options are. My job is to provide you with the information so you can make an informed decision, not to tell you what to do. Because at the end of the house, or at the end of the day, it is your home that you have to live in. And these decisions will affect you long after I walk out of this house. And I think that approach with people really resonates with them, because they're like, she sees me as a person, not just somebody who's going to pay her and she's going to go about her business.
Yeah, it's funny because I wonder that too. Like I think I personally would rather hire a woman over a man, and I don't know why. Like I guess it would be a trust factor too. But I could also see where some people would be like, oh, I mean, she's a woman. What does she know? Right? She's gonna add, like, do this addition to my house or do that. So I could see how it depends on who your client is. Yeah, it could look at two different ways.
It could definitely work both ways. And I thought I was gonna run into more people with that second perspective. It just has not been my experience. I've had people reach out to me specifically and say, I've had 1, 2, 3, 4 different men in here trying to do this work. I don't feel like it went well, or I felt like they ripped me off and I want to try something different. And we end up working together and it's fantastic.
I want you to speak specifically to the women or the woman who is watching this right now. What would you say to her today? If she's, about maybe like, what, you don't have to follow that cookie cutter path of graduating from high school, going off to college, going into a 9-to-5 white collar job. So if they're kind of on that fence, what would you say to her?
I would say that, follow the skills that you're good at. And if you're good at using your hands, being creative, there are so many different parts of skilled trades that you can explore. And I always lived by the idea of I'm never going to fit into somebody's box.
Okay.
I've literally lived to prove that whatever box you think you're going to put me in, I'm out. And so I really, really encourage young girls specifically to explore the different options. There's interior design, there's general contracting, there's architecture. There's so many things that you can explore. And one of the things that I've held really close to my heart is, I don't feel like you have to look any specific way, because I think that there is a visual, even for women who work in skilled trades, that people think, that you look a certain. And I'm like, no, I wear heels, I wear long hair, short hair.
And you drive a kick-ass pink Jeep.
Pickup truck, a Ram.
A pickup Ram.
Yep, a Ram.
That's fantastic.
So, you don't have to look any specific way. And you don't have to fit in anybody's mold. And, at this point, the main focus is building your skills, whatever those might be. And making sure that you have a sustainable career. And this is where it's at. And this is where the money is going to be at for many years to come.
For like the kids who are thinking about this, like college right now is so expensive that thinking about doing a trade, coming up with a skill that, a VOTech probably it's not going to be nearly as expensive as college. It isn't, for sure. Like, they're going to be graduating without a massive debt, but with a skill that is a life skill that they will have forever and ever. It's just, to me, sounds so attainable and so attractive right now.
It does. And even if you didn't go straight into VOTech, you're also in a situation right now because we have a deficit of skilled trades workers. So
really?
We do. So
what do you think is needed? Like, what's the deficit in?
Well, from my recollection, within the next 5 years, there is more than almost half the current trade skill workforce is going to be retiring. The baby boomers are.
Wow.
So all of those people who are retiring, and, back in the day, I don't want to say back in the day, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Back in the day, the plumbers, the electricians, the welders, they were passing these businesses down to, their sons.
Yeah.
Well, everybody's sons right now are working in tech. So there's no one to take these positions. There's no one to take over these businesses. And so we're going to see a huge issue in a very, very short period of time where people who work in skilled trades are going to be able to name the price. If imagine you want somebody to fix your toilet and you can't find anybody, and somebody comes along and it's really supposed to be like a $300 job, but they're saying $1,200. Your toilet hasn't been working for a week. You're going to pay the money.
Yes.
Or, people who don't know what they're doing is going to be coming out to do it. So, it's going to be a really sticky situation, but there's great, great opportunity. And because the market is seeing that this opportunity is coming up, a lot of programs, like I said, with the Lowe's Foundation, and there's tons of other organizations, they're pumping money to get people trained. There's going to be programs where you don't have to pay anything, or you pay very little, because they need people to fill these jobs. Even with AI needs electricians. Hundreds of thousands of electricians is what they're going to need to run this AI. Who's going to do it?
So if you had to pick a skill right now, what would you choose? Like electrician, plumber, HVAC, like what is like in demand?
Electrician.
Really?
1,000%.
How much money could they make?
I don't want to tell any lies.
A roundabout.
Well, it's well into the six figures.
Really?
Absolutely.
That's amazing.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And it differs really just, do you run your own business? Do you work for a union? What scale are you going to do it on? But right out the gate, people are definitely working right into the six figures numbers.
You have your hands in a few things, though. So you are a contractor, licensed contractor.
Yes.
You teach like a DIY school, right? Social media. Are you making enough money? Are you supporting yourself? And like, has this become like, I can live on this and then some?
I doubled my income compared to what I was making when I was a social worker. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
It is pretty good. Yeah. It's been fantastic. It has been, I would say, freeing for me. And I have a level of flexibility that I never had before. My kids have recitals and shows, and sometimes I'm just exhausted and I want to relax in the morning. I have the flexibility to be able to do that, which I never had before.
What do you think is the biggest misunderstanding when it comes to trade skills and people in those trade careers?
I think the biggest misconception is always going to be who fits those roles. And right now, I want to say, I think it's less than 5% of all skilled tradespeople are women.
Wow. So there's a market for this.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we're going to have a little bit of fun. We're going to do some rapid fire questions for you. Ready?
Okay, ready.
Okay. Okay. Easiest beginner home skill?
Changing a light fixture.
Really?
Yes.
I thought that would be kind of hard because you have to shut down the fuses, right? Don't you have to go down the fuse
You do. You have to
box
change, turn off your breaker,
Okay.
but it's literally a matching game.
Okay. All right, because I need to do that anyway. Okay. Best starter tools every homeowner should own?
A laser measure.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay. Is that like measure
So
twice, cut once kind of thing? Or
yes, it allows you to measure using just a small tool that has a laser on it. It gives you very accurate measurements so that you can calculate square footage.
Easiest project that saves money?
Painting. Painting is quite expensive. Around $800 to $900 a room if you are paying, a proper painter. And so if you learn to do it on your own, huge savings.
What not to DIY?
That is such a loaded question.
My husband would say if it were up to him, if I were asking this question, he'd say everything, honey. Do not DIY anything.
Structural. Anything structural.
Okay.
You can, but you need to be advanced.
Contractor red flags.
Asking for a large deposit up front.
Oh. What happens, like, is there like a rule of thumb?
So in the state of Maryland, there is, which is where I'm licensed. On the day that you sign a contract, you are not supposed to ask for or collect more than 30% of the entire project on that day.
Okay. So like a third, and a third?
Yes, that's more appropriate.
Okay. One thing every woman should know how to do in her house.
Every woman should know where her master shutoff is for her electrical and where the main water shutoff is in her home.
I have no idea either. The answer to either of those right
Really?
now. I have no clue.
Those are incredibly important. Even if you don't know how to or don't desire to fix anything, if there was ever an issue, an electrical fire, or you walked into your house and there was water pouring, you need to be able to get to that water shutoff to shut off the water to the entire house.
Do you feel like these trade skills are just making a comeback now?
Oh, yes, they're making a comeback. And it's so beautiful to watch.
What are you hearing from some of your followers?
They want to know where can I learn it? How can I learn these skills? Because I'm tired of wasting my money.
And what surprised you most financially about being in a trade skill?
I did not think that I could make this much money at all. I knew that there was people out here. I mean, if you're passionate and you're good at any one thing, I think the money will come to you. But I didn't think that I could make a lucrative career out of this. And so I balanced social work with, running this business for a little bit of time. But I soon realized that it didn't make any sense. And that if I gave this my 100%, that it would bear fruit. And it certainly has.
Tisha, before I let you go, is there anything I didn't ask you that you wish I did?
I want people and all of your listeners and viewers to know that there is an amazing opportunity, and we don't see opportunities like this always in our lifetime. And so there's just sometimes these pivotal moments. For example, when people will say, when they got Bitcoin, those people who were on Bitcoin at the very beginning, multimillionaires, right?
Wish I did.
Right. I missed that boat, but I did not miss this. And I don't want people to miss the opportunities that are coming. The ability to have something that's so stable and so this is safe. This is safe. Back in the day, government jobs were safe. That's not the case anymore. And we're seeing a lot of people who are experiencing that, working in the same place and same role for 30 years and realizing I don't have that safety or security. I think this is the next thing. We're currently in a moment where if you get into skilled trades right now, you will be comfortable for the rest of your life and you will set up what is necessary for your children.
Tisha Jordan, ContractHer. Is it a contractor? It's ContractHer.
It is.
I love it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was so inspiring. You are inspiring. And I'm sure that for people who are watching, you may have just flipped that switch a little bit to make them realize that trade skills are kind of cool right now.
They are.
You can make six figures and then some.
And you can buy a pink truck.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
So I want you to stick around because at the end of every single episode, I have a quick question, Susan. This is always a question from a viewer. And today was coming in from Flo. Her last name is Carter. And this is her question to me. She said, there's these different home warranties for the gas line, the septic line, and the water lines. Are they legit and are they worth it? So I think what she is talking about here is we all get those letters in the mail that looks like it's coming from our gas company or our water company. It has their logo on it and it's saying that we need extra insurance for the gas lines or the water lines because it could be thousands of dollars if they happen to break. So what they're talking about there, those are actually legitimate letters. They're not really coming from your utility, but the utility has given them permission and they're working with this third party. So these are lines and pipes that are from the curb to your house. And that is your responsibility. Anything from the curb to the actual street where the pipe is for the utility, that's on them. And those pipes to your house could cost you a fortune if there's a problem. So that's what they're talking about with this insurance if you have it. But here's what I would say to that. How old is your house? And I would also ask your neighbors in the area who have similar homes as well. If you're kind of new to the neighborhood, have you had to replace any of these pipes going into your home? And I would hold off on doing this, because also check with your homeowner's insurance. Oftentimes they will cover this for you. So just ask the right questions. Those are legit companies that are sending you those letters. And just, be aware, but I wouldn't sign the dotted line quite yet. And I just look forward to seeing you